It is Monday, the 17th of July. Let me tell you about what I've done today. If at the end of this video I do more work, you'll never hear this video because I'll do another one after for my next job. But assuming I do no more work, I'll tell you what I've done so far. So this morning I woke up in my own bed without a job. I set the alarm for 7, and then I heard my phone go off at 6:51. Got my eyes open, had to look at the job. It was a job going from Leeds Beach to Hull, HU postcode. Actually ended up being a place called Hunmanby, which is north of Hull. And I'd put a quote on by 5 minutes later, so 6:56. The problem was, it was a 7 o'clock pickup. It was from 7 till 7. So obviously there's something going on with this. I thought, well, I'll put a bid on. If I can't get it in time, that's fine. I didn't think I'd get a call, but I did. So I got a call. I explained that when I put the bid in, I said I'd be 55 minutes, effectively an hour away from the pickup, because I had 45 minutes journey time. I was giving myself about 15 minutes to get ready, because I wasn't actually out of bed at this point. So I got a call almost straight away and explained that I wouldn't be there until 55 minutes. And he said that's fine. He explained to me that they'd had a small van go in and the load wouldn't fit. So they'd put it on the system as a large van job, but it was only one pallet. And I could sense from what he told me and the fact how quickly he called me and the price that I put on that he's just desperate to get it filled so they wouldn't let his customer down. So what did I bid? So I bid for a long wheelbase, what I thought was a long wheelbase job, for 133 miles on the CX. I bid £160, £160. And so I made my way. I got myself ready as quickly as I could and made my way towards Leeds Beach, which I said is about 45 minutes away. And this is where my first mistake of the day came in. And to be fair, I say first, it's my only mistake that I'm aware of. I had yesterday been shopping, and I was planning to get some fuel on the way back from the shops yesterday, but I forgot to do that, and I thought, oh, it's okay, I'll do it first thing on Monday. And then obviously I had this job, which was a rush job, and I hadn't got enough fuel to get there. So I had to go and get filled up, which today would be about 10 minutes from what I thought it would be. So I ended up getting to the site about 8:05. And the guy at the site I was picking up from was really nice. He wasn't stressed about anything. So I asked him if the customers I was going to would be stressed or annoyed about being late. He didn't seem to think they would do. So I got it strapped up, got it loaded on, and it was full lifted on, one pallet, normal size dimensions, strapped up. Then I made my way up north towards the Humber Bridge and then onwards north of Hull. So my first lesson there, which is obvious for everyone apart from me, is please make sure that you fill up your tank the night before you have a job the next day or your working day. Don't put yourself under extra pressure like I did today. One good thing that I want to report to you is my van boarding. So I got that van back on Saturday. I've got some thin, narrow decking boards down. It looks really good. It's hard wearing, it's not going to last forever, but it's much better than my existing floor. It looks tidy and clean, at least the floor does, and it's a bit more robust than my old floor was, so I'm really pleased with that. It didn't cost me very much in the end, so I'm very pleased I did that. So I got myself up to my drop off, and dropped off my load. There was a slight comment from them about it being a couple of hours late, but they weren't arsy about it, so that's fine. I just explained it was a different van. One of the things that I was asked to do on the way up is the shipper rang me and asked me to measure the pallet. And so I did that, so I did rang him and set the dimensions. And we were all a bit confused as to how did it fit on a small van. Because it was with the pallet, it was 95 centimetres high. And it was the size of a pallet in terms of width and length. Sort of 110 by 1 metre. I think it was 105 by 109, so that was the size of the load. So anyway, it's not up to me to decide these things. The shipper, I think, was trying to work out what had gone wrong, and we didn't have any conclusion after me giving him the dimensions. I mean, maybe there is a small van that won't fit a pallet that's 95 centimetres high. I don't know enough about small vans to know that. But it seems, if that is the case, quite restrictive. So, moving on. I got myself unloaded, and it was 10 past 12 at this point, and there was no jobs at this point coming out from where I was. I had a look around the area. There was about 2 or 3 other drivers who were green. I think it was a Luton, a medium wheelbase, and a small van. So I thought, well, if any jobs come out, I've got a reasonable chance of getting it. That dwindled down to 2, me and the Luton, within an hour, like an hour later. So I thought I'll give myself an hour, and then I would move somewhere else where there might be more chance of a job. And it's always a very hard decision to make when you're a driver. Do you stay where you are, or do you move somewhere else? I was determined today to reduce my dead miles, but I wasn't able to fulfil that today. I did do one thing that I'm pleased about though. Rather than me sitting in my van looking for jobs, I went for a walk up and down around the van, and I did about 3,000 steps. So if you see my video from yesterday, I'm trying to do a minimum number of steps a day of 5,000. So I did that. I also did my press ups at the back of the van while I was waiting today. So I was pleased about that. I decided after about an hour that I was going to move on. I was looking at the map, and I had some choices. I had Scunthorpe, which I thought wasn't a good place to go to. It was about an hour away. I had Leeds, about an hour and a half away, which was a long way I thought to go, but I thought it would have work. Then I had Hull, which was like an hour away, and I thought Hull had some work that came on the feed when I was coming up. So because it was closer than Leeds, I was going to go for Hull. But then I thought, to edge my bets, I'll head midway between Hull and Leeds and perch myself there. So I headed towards a town called Howden, and on the way a job came up from Hull. So I bid on that, but at this point there was no quote me button. So I rang them and said, 6 is not working very well, I can't put a quote on the app, can you take my quote? And I quoted £60 for a small van job going about 58 miles, and they said that they would think about it and get back to me. So at first I thought, oh, that's fine, because I've called really quickly. I called within about a minute of it going on. Maybe they went for maybe they need other prices, but I should get the job because there's not many miles around me. And then after about 3 minutes, I thought, no, I'm not going to call, am I? About this time, about 1:30ish, maybe 12. I can't remember. I don't know the exact time. Actually, no. It must have been a time when I quoted because there was no quote me button. So about this time, the CX app started playing up, and it effectively ended up crashing, and the CX website crashed as well, and it didn't really come back until 4 o'clock. And by 3 o'clock, I'd gone to the toilet in Tesco, and I was trying to get the app to work, trying to get my Chromebook to work. By 3 o'clock I thought I'll stay here till 5, and then if there's no jobs I'll just go home and call it quits. And at that point home was 110 miles away, about 2.5 hours. And I worked out if I'd done that I would have only made £212 after fuel. So I didn't want to do that from one job. So I phoned up another job. I put a bid on using my Chromebook on the desktop version for a job going from Leeds to Washington in Newcastle. And the mileage was 88 miles, and I bid £100 for a long wheelbase job. And it was long wheelbase because it had to be long, it had like 3 metre long items, rather than it being heavy or lots of pallets. And I got a call back quite quickly, and they gave me the job. But the problem I had was I was an hour and 20 minutes away from Leeds at this point. But the job was asking for a job to be picked up at 4:45. And so if I left straight away, I'd have got there on time. So I explained how far I was, an hour and 20 minutes away. They said that was fine. And I got the postcode off them and went straight to the pickup point. I made it in time. I made it with 4 minutes to spare. But the problem was, because the CX app was not working, I wasn't able to accept the booking. So I was just going by what the postcode. And I thought, if I get there, I need to ring somebody to find out the actual address of the pickup point. So I asked him for the postcode and put it into my Google Maps before I put the phone down, because I knew the app was playing up. And it wasn't until about 4 o'clock, as I said, when the app started coming back. It wasn't until about 4 when I could actually accept the booking, and so I was on my way to the pickup point. So I was a bit anxious that the shipper might not realise I was on my way. They might have thought I hadn't picked up the job off the CX. So it was quite annoying having the CX down, quite frustrating. I'm really pleased I got a job in the end. It does involve a lot of dead miles to get from Hunmanby to Leeds via Hull, but that's going to make my day a reasonable day today, now having a second job. But I was thinking, I bet it's really bad for the job givers, the shippers. It's bad for drivers not being able to get work, but at least it's just ourselves that we have to worry about. If the CX goes down as a shipper and you can't provide the service to your customers, that must be highly stressful. So I do feel for the shippers that were putting stuff on that system and not getting any bids. What happened was by 4 o'clock, loads and loads of jobs came through the system, all timed at the times they put on, so 3 o'clock, 3:05, 3:06, and so obviously a lot of those jobs had to be picked up by 4. They're not within an hour, so they would have been not been, I imagine, not been picked up and not been done, or been done late. So a lot of people would have been affected by today's issues with the CX. Drivers, shippers and customers. Okay, so I think I need to get my stats today. So my stats next. If you saw my Saturday bid video, you'll see that I'm going to make a slight change to my calculation for these stats now, based on my business costs. Let me go through what the stats are for today so far. So I started work at just gone 7, about 7:10, and I'm due to finish about 7 tonight, maybe a bit before. So I'm going to say 12 hours work today, although to be fair, a lot of that was sitting around, not actually driving. I've driven for about 5 hours today. My mileage today will be 344 miles, 344, and I filled up today, this morning, as I said, late, and my average fuel cost at the the moment are 13.87 pence per mile. That means my fuel costs for today are going to be £47.71. My gross earnings for today from 2 CX jobs is 160 from this morning's job from Wisbech to Hunmanby, and then £100 from Leeds to Washington. So that's the one I'm doing at the moment. And I'm going to assume I don't get any more work today. I will look when I get to a drop-off point, but I'm going to assume there's no more work. Therefore, my net earnings after fuel today are £212, but I did use the Humber Bridge, which is a bargain at £1.50. So let's call that £210, my net earnings after fuel. In my spreadsheet I have a calculation for my hourly rate today, which I'm going to caveat and say I'm not sure I hold much by that on a daily basis. I'm much more interested in it on a weekly basis as an average over the course of a week. But for the sake of completeness, I'm going to do this. But rather than just doing it based on my net income, I'm going to remove my business costs from my net income and then work out an hourly rate based on that. So effectively I'm taking £80 off my £210 that I've earned after fuel. So that would leave me with £130, which is my earnings, I suppose, not including business costs. And therefore after 12 hours work it comes to £10.87 an hour using that form of working it out. Okay, so that's that. I have got one more thing to say after my thank yous. So over the weekend I had even more subscribers, so thank you very much if you joined us over the weekend. I think I had 86 on Friday, I think, and I've currently got 93. So that's up by 7 over the weekend. So thank you very much to you guys for subscribing. I appreciate it. Another thing that happened today, which I want to share with you, was I had a phone call from one of my fuel cards. I was thinking about whether I should mention them, and at this point I won't mention them. I've got 2 fuel cards. One of them is UK Fuels, one of them is Key Fuels, and I'm using one of them because it's cheaper than the other one today, and have been for the last 10 days or so. And then I got a call from the one I haven't been using, and it was like a courtesy call, as they put it, and obviously I knew why they were calling. They were calling to work out if I was going to use their card anymore, and I said I would do if it was cheaper, but it's too expensive at the moment. The current price I was getting was, for this week, the current price for that fuel card was 115.46. And so the lady offered me for this week a price of 111.86, which brings it below the other fuel cards. So I am going to be using that fuel card now, because I feel it's good value. I appreciate that fuel prices are very variable, and I feel happy that at 111.86 is a fair price. If you want to know what that is including VAT, then it is 134.23, which is significantly less than my pump prices at where I live. That's not coming down. My pump prices are 147.8, which is quite a lot more expensive than some parts of the country, I realise. At the moment my fuel cards are still the best ways which I can keep filling up. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for tuning in again. This week is about a CX week. It's genuinely going to be CX work all week. So let's see how that goes. I'm going to try, if I can, also to get myself to London and try and do a day in London. That will be part of what I'll do this week if I get a chance to. So I'll keep you up to date. Thank you for watching. What have you learnt today?